This is the Under the Ring Report. And now, the only wrestling podcasting host in the world who can slap a tornado and dry up the sea, John the Flesh Wound, and Cousin Tom.
And welcome everyone to another edition of the Under the Ring Report. With me as usual, Cousin Tom.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hopefully they're doing very well. I got to put a thanks out there once again to everyone who takes the time to listen to the show. I think I just checked, and total we have over 15,000 downloads. That's pretty good for us. It's not a big complaint at all. Can't believe
considering
that many...
we've had a little hiatus.
Yeah. So we haven't talked since the All In went on sale and everything that kind of went with it. And I know most podcasts are talking about this and stuff, but I thought maybe first we kind of talk about our experience trying to get tickets, and then we'll kind of chat about what this means to the world of professional wrestling and stuff. So the easiest way to put it is that I was going to be the guy in charge of getting tickets.
Right.
And the only problem with that is that I was going to be in Illinois in the middle of nowhere for my nephew's graduation. And I'm like, not a big deal. Their graduation will be quick. I'll be done before 3. And so I get in the gym and I'm kind of queuing up the page so I can make sure I'm ready to roll. And very intermittent internet. I mean, 1 minute it spikes up to a bar, then it's gone. And I have nothing. And, it's bad. I mean, I'm like, uh-oh. And I think I got lucky enough to send you a message. And that was like the only internet I had.
Yeah, I think I got the message, I don't know, maybe an hour before tickets were officially to go on sale. And I was at work. I had to work till 2, and tickets went on sale at 3 Central Time, I believe. Yeah, so by the time I get home from work, it takes me about 35, 40 minutes. So I basically got your message as I was pulling in the driveway. So I had actually queued it up on my phone. We'll just say I parked and pulled over to the side and queued it up. We won't say what I actually did. So I pull it up, and immediately it puts me in the virtual waiting room, which from what I hear, a lot of people can attest to being in the virtual waiting room. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the waiting room driving my car, just waiting. And I come in the house, and I'm still in the waiting room. My wife's sitting on the couch, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, John's at graduation. He has no service, so I'm trying to get us tickets for the All In show in September in Chicago." And she's working on her laptop for work, and she says, "Well, I can pull it up on here and buy you tickets." And I'm like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. I've already got it pulled up. It's no big deal." I said, "I just have to wait. It just went on sale." And she goes, "Oh, no." And, we go back and forth like an old married couple that we are.
Yep.
I'm like, no, you don't do it. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I will." And, back and forth we go. So I walk in the other room, still holding my phone, looking at my virtual waiting room, not, it's still refreshing, but not going anywhere. Meanwhile, she yells, "So what seats you want?" And I'm like, "What?" And in the time it took me to walk from the living room to the kitchen, which is basically like 6-7 steps maybe, she had gotten on her laptop, typed in Sears Center, pulled it up, got right in. How she got right in, I have no idea. I'm like, "How'd you do that?" She goes, "I just typed it in." Like I'm an idiot who doesn't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm like, "Look at my phone. It still says I'm in virtual waiting." So she puts down 2 seats for, best available or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it generates and comes up with 2 seats. And I said, "Okay, yeah, buy them." And she goes, "Well," and it gives you 3 options. It was, leave those tickets, buy those tickets, or the other option is save the tickets and look for something better. So she says, "Well, let's try to look for something better." I'm like, "Okay, but don't lose the tickets." So she saves them, and then she types in, best available again. Nothing would come up.
Yeah.
She tried this 3 times. Nothing, all 3 times. I said, "Well, buy those tickets." So we buy them. We get our confirmation and everything. It's on the email. She's like, "There you go. We were all good." I text you. We got 2 tickets, blah, blah, blah. I then go to Twitter and realize it sold out in 29 minutes or whatever they said.
Yeah.
And apparently, now this may not be so, but I kind of took it to believe is I may have got the last 2 tickets in the building.
I like
more tickets available.
I like that narrative. That's what I think is funny. But yeah, I mean, I was hanging out at the graduation party and still had spotty internet. But when I got your thing, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank goodness your wife was able to do that." Because I was devastated there for a little while. I'm like, "Man, we're going to miss one of the biggest independent shows ever."
Well, and I'm the king of poo-pooing things. Like she'll say, "Let's do it." I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. We'll do that later." "No, don't worry about it. I'll get to it later." And so when she offered to buy, I'm like, "No, I'm already in the waiting." And I looked at my phone. I was still in that virtual waiting room. I never got to anything.
And you know what? That from what I read on Twitter, was what a big problem was with a lot of people. They were stuck there in limbo trying to get tickets and, no dice at all. And I think at one point, too, it actually crashed. And then they finally got it back up and running again. I don't know if they expected that type of a response for a show like that, No,
I heard an interview this week, and I think Cody said that he expected
5,000.
Was it 5,000?
Yep.
I was going to say
on Jim Ross's.
He was hoping for 5,000 the first day, and then go from there. Right? So they didn't expect what it did either.
Well, and I mean, you think about it. No matches except for Cody vying for the NWA title. That's the only. But we really don't know who it's going to be that he's wrestling. You know what I mean? And that was said at the press conference. But there's no real set matches.
No, and that was only announced like an hour before tickets went on sale.
Yeah, true. But I am glad to see this happen. I think it's good for professional wrestling because lately, we follow a lot of wrestling fans on Twitter, because that's one of the things, too, is if you follow us, we are more than happy to follow you back and talk about professional wrestling and what's going on. And lately, a lot of people have just not been happy with what's going on in the world of professional wrestling when it comes to WWE.
Yeah, I think the part of the problem is there's always the letdown after WrestleMania. It builds and it builds and it builds.
And it's a real thing.
And it's a real thing. And then you have it, and then there's the start of something new to build the next year. And I think, and it's normal. People just kind of go, oh, I am emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted. And then also you've got weather change, springtime rolls around, people are more outdoors. There's a lot of factors plays into it, but it just gets to a point, and we go through this every year where everyone's just kind of like, I don't even care right now.
Well, and I mean, right now, this is kind of a throwaway period for them. They'll kick it up a gear when they get closer to SummerSlam and stuff like that, but right now, it's like you said, it's kind of throwaway. Try and figure out where they're going for the rest of the year. So I can honestly say I haven't really watched a lot of that. I've been watching Ring of Honor because I grabbed the pass that they have on their website. I've been catching a little bit of New Japan here and there, but WWE hasn't been doing anything for me really. And that's where I think is great about this. If a WWE fan, normal WWE fan, I don't think is going to give two pisses about this, in my own personal opinion. I mean, well, here's an example. Your son, does he care about this?
No. I've mentioned it to him, and he just told me he wants to stick to the WWE product, which he's 12 years old. And, unless he's just eating and sleeping it, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's got a million other things on his mind, like Fortnite. So...
Well, and that's kind of my thinking is the fan that WWE is really making their money off of. Those people are going to stay, and they may boo and they may piss and moan about Roman Reigns or whatever, but they're going to stay there. But older wrestling fans, and that's part of what I think it is, if you're a true wrestling fan, you try to get out there and sample a little bit of everything, because you know what? You might get surprised and find something else that is making you a little happier. Go, oh, I didn't know this tastes good. And I think that's what it is as people start to find out what the Bullet Club is now compared to what it used to be. And then you sample them, and then you find out about a Flip Gordon. Then you find out about some of these other guys and the other federations. There's an Okada. Holy cow, he's really good, and you open yourself up to a different style of wrestling. And I think that is what's cool, because I think a lot of these people might be displaced fans that WWE and WCW used to cater to, but they figured out that they make more money if they go after the kids.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example. I have some friends on my son's baseball team, and his boys just recently got into watching wrestling, and they're about the same age as my boys.
Okay.
So when I'm at the game with them, they want to talk wrestling with me because they know that we have the podcast, and and I'm showing up in my Ric Flair shirt and everything else. And but they are brand new to it. Dad used to watch when DX was around, but the kids were never allowed to watch until like the last month. They just started with WrestleMania, so they're ground zero.
Oh boy, okay.
They have, So I'm getting all these questions like, is Bobby Roode related to Rick Rude and all this, so I'm trying to fill in some backstory for these kids. But, I mentioned the show, and I said one of the big draws that I want to see is Okada from New Japan. And they look at me, and the dad's like, Okada, is that like any, Mr. Fuji? I'm like, no. This guy's like 6'5" and built like a middle linebacker and is just a crazy athlete. And It's nothing like what you're picturing in your mind when I mention a Japanese wrestler.
Because WWE for so long tried to put them into weird characters. You know what I mean? If you
right, everything was a characterization.
Yeah. So I get why someone would go, if they grew up on it, is this? No, they don't understand what that means. And I get that.
And the other big thing that has me so excited about All In is the importance not only for indie wrestling, but especially through like Twitter. I've been exposed to more indies things than what I would have been.
Yeah.
And I love watching these young guys come up and then they kind of catch fire. And then the next thing you know, they're the kind of the it thing. And then they may go on to WWE. Some of these guys are choosing not to, but like Pentagon, I'm so excited to see that guy. And I got exposed to him through Lucha Underground.
Same here.
Seasons.
Fell in love with him. Yep, fell in love with him, and I'm really excited to get to see him. And also Phoenix. I mean, together, those guys, I'm hoping they wrestle each other because that will be a phenomenal match to watch.
Yeah, so there's certain ones there. And then I will also say, and I just learned this week, I had no idea, but, the Starrcast that's going on with All In.
Oh, yeah, we're set there.
We did get her.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that Conrad Thompson was the guy behind that. Love him or hate him. I know he's kind of polarizing for some people.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay.
No, I apparently I had my head in the clouds or something, but I just learned that this week. I'm like, oh, wow. And I'm super excited to see, I'm glad the show is built around young talent.
Yeah.
But I'm also really excited to see the legends that they're bringing, like Magnum TA. I don't care what the guy looks like now. That Magnum TA, to me, is just one of those guys that when you think 80s wrestling, that's Magnum TA in a nutshell.
And the thing, too, with him is, you know what? If he hadn't had that car wreck, he may have been up there with a Sting. When you said, because he was on that trajectory at that time. And I mean, it's one of those what if, what could have been. But I'm with you on that because, I mean, with the Starrcast stuff, it looks like it's going to be a nice compliment to a great night of wrestling. I mean, we're not going to get there, I think, till Saturday morning sometime is kind of what I'm planning on. I don't know about you, but I really want to check out X-Pac's podcast with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash because they're going to do a whole thing talking about 360 degrees of the NWO. And I know we've heard them talk about that before, but it'll be kind of cool to hear them live and in person talking about that stuff.
Yeah, I really want to see that. I'm trying to figure out, I'm already planning my travel time. Like, okay, what, do I need to leave Friday night?
Oh, is that what you're thinking now?
For my drive? Well, no. Well, I'm trying to picture like, if that starts at 9 a.m.
It starts at 11.
At 11, okay.
But at 9 a.m. is a official Starrcast meet and greet.
Yeah, see, and I am I'm a 6-hour drive away, so I got to figure out.
I'm about 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, do I leave Friday and crash at Mom and Dad's and put me in a 3-hour drive? So I'm. The wheels are already turning, and I've got 3 months to figure it out. But
well, who knows? You know what? Maybe on the other hand, we just say piss on it and go down on Friday and meet. Because I've got a bunch of stuff on Friday too, if possible. But we can figure that out. That's the best part. I mean, we've got our little wristbands, so we're pretty much good all weekend to do whatever the hell we want to, and that should be fun.
Yeah. Well, like I texted you earlier in the week, it's like I'm so stinking excited for this. It's not even funny. Like I'm wanting to skip all summer and go straight to it. I just want to.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm excited, but I don't want to lose my summer. Come on, I just came out of winter hell.
But I was really, really pumped when we got tickets because that was just pure sheer luck that we got those 2 tickets.
Oh, yeah. But
something like this, I can't remember a build for kind of like a groundswell. I can't remember something like that in quite some time.
Not really. And I think I saw something. It had been, I think, the last time they had anybody sell out 10,000 seats or more was when WCW was around. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. Ring of Honor, the most they have sold was just this past WrestleMania, and they sold 6,000 seats that highlighted with Cody versus Kenny Omega. So that kind of tells you the drawing power of Cody and the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and I really think that Okada is the one who helped put this over the top because you and I talked about it. You don't get a lot of chances to see someone like that in the Midwest. I mean, yes, New Japan's been coming over to California and doing their shows, but for us, not a lot of opportunities.
No, very, very few, very little. And to get Okada and Omega in the same building, there's no way I'm missing that.
But who do you think, if you have to put on your list right now, I'm going to give you a list of 5. Who are you looking forward to most? And this is just at Starrcast. Who are you looking forward to maybe getting a chance to see at Starrcast?
At Starrcast. My 5 that I'm looking forward to see, because you're talking about everybody for the meet and greet, right? Not
I'm talking about everybody. And you know what? You may not get a chance to meet them because the calendar may not sync up. But if you get a shot, who are you looking, hopefully, to get a chance to meet and stuff?
Well, I've met Kevin Nash. I'd like to finish off my outsiders and get meet Scott Hall.
Okay,
that's my number one, is getting to meet Hall. I would like to meet Jerry the King Lawler. I mean, you talk about professional wrestling history. There's a guy that has been through everything. You know, for the longest time, people my dad's age only knew him as the guy that smacked Andy Kaufman.
Oh yeah, no idea the other stuff he did.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you go to Memphis now, he's still the King.
Yep.
Down there. So I'd like to see the King. Trying to think who else they've announced.
There's a lot, dude. There's a lot.
There's so many. I'd love to meet Omega.
Yeah.
Or Okada and probably Pentagon. So there's my 5: Okada, Omega, Pentagon, and then, believe it or not, Jerry Lawler and Scott Hall.
I would put one of the guys I'd love a chance to is Terry Funk, just because of the history.
I forgot about him.
I mean, Terry Funk, holy cow, one of the all-time greats. I mean, I'd love that. And the guys you covered, I'm kind of with you. I'd like to meet those guys too. Joey Ryan's going to be there, by the way. So.
Oh, that's right. You're your boy.
That's right. So much history. I mean, I just look over the list and just go, wow, I don't know. I'm going to be like a kid in a candy store. Hopefully some of these folks are going to be around the days we're there and we'll get a chance to meet them. But I mean, the podcasts that are going to be going on live during that time too, sitting down and listening to Eric Bischoff talking with Conrad would be interesting. And even Bruce Pritchard. I think that would be a very interesting event to see too. And
I forgot, I didn't even mention Rey Mysterio. There's a guy that I've watched for 20 plus years. I saw Rey
Mysterio. Oh my. I saw Rey Mysterio twice. I saw him in 1999 at a Saturday night taping in Madison, Wisconsin, wrestling, I believe, Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, wow.
And then I saw him probably a year later or 2 years later in Milwaukee wrestling on a WCW Nitro. And that's been a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember when he was even smaller than he is now and being thrown like a lawn dart against a trailer by Kevin Nash.
Mm-hmm.
And even his feud with Jericho in WCW, that that's been years ago. But that's a guy that I completely forgot was going to be there.
But I'll tell you what, I say it all the time on this show, and I'll say it again. This is the best time to be a professional wrestling fan, because you know what, your friends don't make fun of you anymore like they used to. Because you remember 5-6 years ago, hey, I like wrestling. People don't say that anymore because it's so mainstream for people, but also there's so much out there to watch. And that's why I think this is great, is at this time, Cody Rhodes says, here's what we're going to do. And him and the Young Bucks, they do it. And that's what I think is really cool, is to take, they've got no promoters. It's just them and their friends, and the popularity of the Bullet Club propel this to where it is.
Yeah, they've become more pop culture than
they have
anything else, because well, one thing, their YouTube, the Being the Elite show, that's taken off.
Yep.
Just the whole Bullet Club and Hot Topic has taken off.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember 2 summers ago going somewhere with my kids. We went to Holiday World and I saw a guy with a Kenny Omega shirt. Like, oh man! And I said something to the guy, because you just didn't see Kenny Omega shirt 2 years ago. Wasn't around. And now, if you watch any WWE product, I would say 30% of their audience is wearing New Japan Bullet Club shirts.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So it's really taken off.
Well, it's funny. I've got about 5 or 6 other wrestling fans that I work with. And one of the guys, he's from San Diego, and he came in, he comes in, this is like the second week he worked there, and he knew I was a wrestling fan. And he pulls up his shirt and he's got a Kenny Omega cleaner shirt on. I'm like, all right, man, you're a hardcore freaking fan. You're not just some... he goes, hell yeah. And when I go, we have a Hot Topic here. So like the next week he comes in wearing a Bullet Club shirt. So anyway, so when he heard that I was going, he goes, could you do me a favor? I go, what? He goes, He goes, if you get a chance, he goes, I want a Kenny Omega autograph. I'm like, well, I don't know when the signings are. And I said, I don't know what's up. I said, but I'll tell you what, if I do get a chance and I get a ticket, I'll take care of you, man. But I just thought that was funny is it's not the days of going, yeah, I saw Hulk Hogan or I saw Stone Cold. It's these other entities that everybody starts talking about now. Instead of the mainstream wrestling stuff, it's your New Japans, your Ring of Honors that everybody's having a fun going. And it's not young kids. It's older generation that enjoys that wrestling. So
I was trying to think back. When can you remember a show selling out where there's no card? There's no draw. I mean, the draw is the talent in the building. No one cares who's wrestling who. Well, they just came to see the talent.
I think the main thing is the talent. And I think a lot of people wanted to be part of history, you know. To say that you were part of this all-in event, selling out in 30-some minutes, 10,000 seats, not part of any real federation. I mean, New Japan and Ring of Honor are cooperating with them because it helps them also. But I mean, this is put on by the Bucks and Cody. And yeah, there has been nothing like this since really the territories, to be honest, and they really weren't putting on this type of show with just a couple people and their money. Yeah. And this would have been like Ric Flair and Harley Race getting together and going, well, we're going to go sell out Greensburg, you know, something like that. And it's not going to happen. But that's what's really cool about this.
Yeah, it is kind of a throwback to the territory days because you really haven't seen anything like this. And we haven't even spoke of the women wrestlers that are going to be there.
Oh, no. It should be a really good show with all the talent there. Most people already know what's going on for the most part. It should be out of this world, if you ask me.
I knew at one time I sent you a text that said, when you were going to try to get tickets.
Yep.
I don't care where we sit, just as long as we're in the building. And we made it in the building, and I couldn't be happier that we're in the building. So we are all in.
And like I said, we'll be there at the show Saturday night. We'll be at the Starrcast. Hopefully, we'll run into some folks out there, and I think it's going to be a really good time. And we'll remember this for a long time because it's making history in the world of professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks a lot, folks, for joining us here on the Under the Ring Report.
This is Mick Foley. You are listening to the Under the Ring Report. And if you don't listen, so help me out. I'll laugh pretty damn loud. Have a nice day.
Follow the Under the Ring Report on Twitter at UTRR Podcast. You can subscribe to the Under the Ring Report on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, or visit undertheringreport.com. Thanks for listening to the Under the Ring Report.